More baking? Maybe I should make a whole series called An Ode to Self-Raising Flour. Oh yes, we got very excited about changing our hair colour in quarantine and then couldn't order anymore, so now we have fantastic roots. Just something else to be thankful for this lockdown. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. You know, people don't say good day enough anymore. Good day, sir. Imagine just ending a conversation with a boy that way. Good day, sir. I buy it. Anyway, all of that madness aside, hello, I hope you're all well. I personally am going into my 11th week of lockdown, which feels... I've actually run out of words to describe how it feels now, so let's just let a sort of therapeutic silence reign until one of us feels awkward enough to speak. Scones! Yes, I have decided to do another baking tutorial because actually one friend did ask me to do another one, which astounded me personally. I actually want to give a quick shout out to my friend John, who made the Victoria sponges, the mini Victoria sponges from the last video I did, and they looked amazing. That did bring a genuine smile to my face, and he also used Pimm's jam, which sounds incredible and I've never heard of. I'm gonna find me some of that. God, I love Pimm's. It tastes like sunburn and tennis rackets and glory. But yes, today I thought I would continue to use the bag of self-raising flour that my friend Katie bought me. I'm trying to do something simple just because even though things are slightly easing, it's still hard to get hold of certain ingredients. I say easing, we're all just trusting our instincts, right? And given some of the things that I've done in my life that I deeply regret now, while I was trusting my instincts at the time, perhaps I shouldn't be left to my own devices during this global pandemic. Just something to think about. So with all of that being said, today I am going to take you through a very, very, very easy recipe to make cheese scones. Just a quick side note on the inevitable scone debate. It's a baked good. It's here for all of us to enjoy. It doesn't make you sound more or less posh, whichever way you say it. Can we all just get on with our lives and enjoy it? Of course, the self-raising flour. Next, you will need 150 milliliters of milk, any milk. I use this milk because it's the only milk we have left in the house. A pinch of salt. Looks like I stole this from the circus. That is what my house looks like, a circus. Butter. Butter face. Oh, that's nice and cool. Ooh. If you find that your butter is too cold to use, because usually it has to be a little bit soft, and you run excessively warm like I do, just do this. I could open a spa. And finally, cheese! Really, any kind of cheese, whatever cheese you like the best. We're a house that really, really, really fucking loves cheese, so we have a lot of cheese. Today I'm gonna keep it again fairly simple, and I'm gonna use a mixture of cheddar and red Leicester. Just a quick FYI for anyone who's watching and lives in Stockport, we got all of those cheeses and also all of our vegetables and also all of our meat for this month from the Stockport market, which is doing like a home delivery and also a collection service. So if you are a Stockport resident and you want to shop locally, then definitely have a look and check out the Stockport market. Number one, the produce is really good quality and delicious. Number two, it's really fantastic value for money. And number three, I love that market so much and I really want it to still be here when everything starts returning to normal. No mixer needed this time, just a large bowl, your hands, which should be squeaky clean. One more thing, a baking tray. Oh, look, weathered, textured baking tray that has seen many things. It is clean, I promise. Now that we have all of our ingredients ready, we're going to preheat the oven. I'm going to bake these at 220 degrees C in my fan oven. Look at this. Who is this privileged? Oh, it's so good. First, you'll need to measure out 225 grams of self-raising flour. Next, take the butter and measure out 55 grams. Cut it into small cubes and add it to the flour mixture. Next, you can add 1 pinch of salt. I went off script here and decided to add a teaspoon of paprika to the mix. Feel free to join me in that, although you don't have to. Now you're going to start taking those butter cubes in between your fingers and rubbing them into the flour until you get a coarse breadcrumb-like consistency. Now it's time to add the cheese. Now this recipe does call for grated cheese, but if like me you don't own a cheese grater because you like to pull chunks of cheese from the larger chunk of cheese and stuff them directly into your face, you can just chop it up finely, that's fine too. Also, my original recipe calls for 25 grams of grated cheese, which seems like just a sad amount of cheese, so I would just base it on how much of a cheese lover you are. Scones.
She recording?
She is. You're in it now.
Oh no.
Say hi. As I said, you can grate this, which is probably a lot easier than what I'm doing, which is chopping it up finely. The recipe calls for 25 grams of cheese, but if you want to add a little bit more, do feel free. Next, you'll need a lightly floured surface and 150 milliliters of milk. Add the milk to the flour mixture and start to stir it in. You'll see that it starts to form a nice soft dough. As a warning, you will end up with very sticky fingers handling this, so I'd recommend flouring those hands up. Take the dough from the bowl and place it on the floured surface and knead it lightly. Et voila! Scone dough! Start to roll out your dough until you have it at a thickness of about 1 to 2 centimeters. This is very technical cookie cutter. This is a tiny piece of Tupperware that is actually the perfect size, so just goes to show you don't have to have fancy bakeware. Start cutting the rounds out of the dough and placing them on a lined baking tray. You can use either greaseproof paper or foil. Continue the process until you have around 12 scones or you've just run out of dough. When there's only enough dough left for you to get like a couple out, I'm just going to shape them myself. I'm probably, at this point, I'm probably handling the dough too much, but it's never really hurt them in the past, so. One more thing before they go in the oven, you're just going to give them a quick milk wash, and that just makes the tops a little bit shiny. Now, if you don't have a pastry brush because you're not Mary Berry, you can use a paintbrush provided it's never been in paint, which is this for me. You're just going to take a little bit of milk and brush it lightly over the top of each one. Lightly brush the top of each scone. Careful not to push down too hard. And now into the oven. Oh my goodness. It's very hot. They smell so good. They really smell good. Now you're just going to put them on a cooling rack, and then it's really a race to see who eats more first. They should be a nice golden brown on top, but you can take one scone, and if you just tap on it, they should sound sort of slightly hollow, and that means that they're nice and ready. So I let these cool, I lathered butter on the top of one of them, and now it is time to get an official answer as to whether they taste good or not. Ready?
Very nice. No, seriously, they're very nice. Girl knows how to cook.
Did you just put the whole thing in your mouth? Is it a success?
We'll save for the next one.
Is the paprika a good idea?
I think it's definitely a good idea.
do put the paprika in. There you have it, a bona fide way to keep the people who are living with you happy through this time, which is very important because it's been a long, long time. If you do give this recipe a go, please let me know because I love to see other people baking. And if there's something in particular that you want a tutorial for, why not ask? It might not be in my wheelhouse, but I love a challenge. Stay safe and try and stay sane.